everyone, we're joined by Faye Louise, a 39-year-old from the United Kingdom who is sharing her journey with appendix cancer. Thank you, Faye, for your continued strength and for sharing your story to help others who might be going through similar experiences.
So my name is Faye Louise. I am from the United Kingdom and I received a diagnosis of lamin last August. So it kind of is a little bit strange for me because there wasn't any obvious signs that I had anything more sinister than an ovarian cyst going on. I was experiencing cramping, bloating, tummy pains, discomfort before and after my period. So initially as a female, I just thought, okay, it's period related. I've always suffered heavy periods all through my teens, my 20s, into my 30s. I very much followed my mom in that. So I just thought, nothing more. I went for a GP appointment and they asked me if I had a problem with my appendix, and I said never ever had any issues with my appendix at all, and she referred me for an ultrasound scan. I had the ultrasound scan and it confirmed that I had a ovarian cyst on my left ovary of 17 centimeters, and yeah, that's all it was ever meant to be. So I went to the hospital for my laparotomy because the cyst was so big. I had to have it open surgery in August the 7th, 2023. And unfortunately, on the 8th of August, I got given the news that while they were operating, they found a tumour on my appendix, which had been there for quite a while, which I was quite surprised to hear. And they diagnosed me 5 weeks later officially with a low-grade appendiceal mucinous neoplasm. So in mind, in the beginning, was a right hemicolectomy, where they would take a little bit of my small bowel, because when the surgeon had me open, I was told that they saw a few deposits on the outside of my small bowel and the tumour on the appendix itself. So they just said it would be a right hemi. When the biopsy results officially came back, it went from something so small as a 6 weeks recovery after a right hemi to something like massive magnitude of MOAS, mother of all surgery. So I was told that because the cancer is quite complex, that I will need to be then referred to Basingstoke, who specialise in this type of tumour, and they are located in the North Hampshire Hospital here in the UK. And I met with them on the 18th of September, where he gave me quite an in-depth talk where he had looked at my scans that had been sent over from the initial hospital where I had my cyst removed, and basically he just said that he thinks he can get it all from what he can see of my CT scans. However, it comes at a price. I had to be forced into having a full hysterectomy, and also on the what he called the shopping list was my spleen, gallbladder, appendix, greater and lesser omentum. Again, he reminded me that when he actually opens me up on the day of surgery, which was scheduled for November the 1st, that he would know for sure what was going on inside and what I'd have to lose officially. So trying to prepare for that news, it felt a little bit strange. I felt reassured in a way that, okay, they've noticed this, there's a plan in place, they're not leaving me just to sit here and, this tumour to fester away and spread. You do not expect to make it out alive. He gave me the best advice that I was ever given, I think, to build up. So if you're facing this surgery, then build up protein, exercise. You've got to build up the muscle mass to support anything that you're going to lose after such a huge operation. So I was on my exercise bike every day for about 45 minutes, really pushing myself the most that I could. I drank protein drinks, helped me gain back weight that I'd lost from the cyst operation. So I lost about 8 kilos from my cyst operation. I had to regain that before I could be put forward for the mother of all surgery on the 1st of November. So I had 3 months to recover from the laparotomy and build up my body so I could get strong to give myself a head start on recovery from MOAS. So I went in on the 1st of November for full cytoreductive surgery with HIPEC, which is what MOAS is dubbed as. I had 11-hour surgery. 2 of that was the heated chemotherapy directly into my abdomen while I was open on the operating table. After that, I was kept in ICU for the whole of the evening, right through to the following evening on the Thursday. They wanted to keep me asleep to rest my body after such a huge operation. I remember waking up totally out of it. I had epidural in my back, which was giving me pain relief systemically every so often. I had morphine. I remember trying to swallow, and I've just felt like I had sandpaper in my throat, and I immediately felt the NG tube. That is one thing I do remember about waking up, is trying to swallow and thinking, right, yeah, that tube's definitely in there. That's what everyone told me about, and now I can definitely feel it's there. And then I remember my surgeon being by the bedside and said that, I'm really pleased to tell you that the operation was a success, went a lot better than we actually expected, and we've got it all. To hear those words that you never thought that was possible, you know, we've got it all, there's no more disease, I was just like, what? You've got it all? Like, I just couldn't believe I was hearing those words. I thought I was having an out-of-body experience or something. So I remained in ICU for the remainder of Thursday afternoon, evening, Friday morning. I had to have a blood transfusion in ICU because I lost 1,500 millilitres of blood during the surgery. They just wanted to top me up with a blood transfusion before I headed off to the ward, where I would start my recovery across the 11 days that I was in Basingstoke for. So I think day 1, day 2, day 3 of being on the ward, I really don't remember a lot. It's really, really strange. Like, you try and look back and it's just like your mind's totally blank. You cannot remember all of the day. I mean, a lot of the day I was out of it, to be honest, sleeping, because, you know, your body recovers better when you're sleeping. And I had soup, but I found the soup was quite difficult to swallow with the NG tube. Everything was very, like, uncomfortable. Liquids, soups, jelly. And yeah, I just carried on the days there, being washed. I didn't have any strength in my core. Obviously, I've been sliced from here to here, so all my muscle was shattered. I had no core strength. I couldn't stand up straight. I couldn't even move from the bed for the first 4 days. And it honestly is the most brutalist thing. But when you look back, it's amazing what the body can actually do and heal. So they saved my life. That's how I see it. My life has been saved, and I'll be forever grateful for that. So I arrived home 11 days after the CRS HIPEC, and home life was very difficult when I got home. I had to heavily rely on my partner, who's been my caregiver, and he's been absolutely wonderful. I don't know what I would have done if I was a single person without anybody at home. I don't think it's possible I even would have been able to be at home, to be honest. So he was getting my medicine, making foods. Food was very much little and often when I came home. I was mostly living on chicken fillets with a tiny little bit of potato and a tiny little bit of gravy. I left the vegetables out. I wasn't brave enough to introduce any veg for probably 4 to 6 weeks after my operation, purely because I had to be on a low fibre diet. So I was living on jelly, bit of ice cream, Greek Muller corner with a strawberry compote jam that you put into the yogurt, nothing with seeds, no greens, nothing that would irritate the bowel, no nuts, no brown bread, no fibre. So my diet was very much bland, and I did miss my normal foods. Thankfully, these days, I haven't had any problems with any food that I've reintroduced into my diet. However, I did wait until the recommended 3 months to bring back any greens or fibre into my diet. I came off my morphine, I think, week 6. But then I had withdrawal effects from that. So I ended up back in a hospital here locally towards Christmas, with severe pains in my sort of tummy area here. And yeah, they were just saying that it sounds like you took yourself off the morphine, because I found the morphine was actually just making me feel worse. And I just didn't want to rely on the morphine anymore. I wanted to try and manage the pain with just paracetamol and ibuprofen, because I know morphine can be very addictive. So the hospital weaned me off it in the end and put me on dihydrocodeine. But after 9-10 weeks, I didn't need anything other than over-the-counter paracetamol. When you've had this surgery, they advise you never to take ibuprofen due to internal bleeding and complications that can occur from ibuprofen. So yeah, it was just paracetamol. But my partner went to the chemist. He did all my meals. He still does today. I mean, I'm 7 months post-op very soon in the next couple of weeks. And even today, he still looks after me because it's still quite a battle some days. I do get a bit of discomfort because I ended up having more than was planned. It is a brutal recovery. I can't sit and wrap it up in ribbons and say, you won't hurt, you won't do this, it won't be that, because it is. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want people to know cancer's not pretty, but you can recover and get your life back, the new normal, as we call it. In February, I went for a follow-up with my surgeon, where I met him, and it was quite overwhelming to meet him, because I walk in the room and I see him now as someone that's saved my life. And that feeling is very strange when you see someone that's actually saved your life. And it's quite interesting because he said to me, how's things been? And this was obviously by 11, 12 weeks after I had the surgery that I saw him for a follow-up. And I said to him, I actually feel okay. It's very strange. And he said, normally it seems to be a thing where patients, they all say to me the same thing, that they'll feel horrendous, but at the 8-week mark, it's like this little switch goes off, and everyone starts to feel that they're starting to climb this mountain to get to the top. So yeah, it's very much been like that for me. It's been a mountain, but it makes you appreciate your life. It certainly feels like a life reset. You appreciate waking up, being able to go out and being healthy. That's what it does to you. You see life very differently. So now I'm just going out, I'm seeing places I've always wanted to see, I'm booking holidays I've always wanted to do. I booked a cruise. The other day I booked a cruise. I've always wanted to do a cruise. I've never done one. So my first Mediterranean cruise will be May 2025, which I'm really excited about. And it's just about getting out there and showing people that, yes, cancer is daunting. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it can kill you, but it will never destroy the person that you are inside. It will never take away who you are in here. And that's what I feel myself. I'm now under Basingstoke's surveillance for up to 20 years, which, when you're quite young and you've been diagnosed with cancer, it does feel daunting. You do think, like, am I going to make that 59 years mark where I'm declared officially free of this whole disease? So mentally, it does take a strain. I do fear reoccurrence. I'm sure that's a natural for anybody to feel reoccurrence with any sort of cancer. So yeah, mentally it's taken quite a strain on me. Some days I can not think about it. I could go out and enjoy myself and don't even think I've been through what I've been through. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, okay, I've not had this huge thing going on, until I undress for the bath and I see, obviously, the lasting scar, which is a symbol of what I've been through. It's just mentally consumes you. I am taking steps. I am speaking with a counsellor. They advised me at Basingstoke to do this. I've tried for 6 months to not do this, but I think I've got nothing to lose by just talking to someone. So yeah, I have entered counselling for trauma, which I'm stuck in the state of trauma at the moment. So it's just about, don't be ashamed of reaching out for help. Until you've walked in our shoes and you've walked down the path that we have, I think it's very easy for people to kind of think, oh, she's all right now, she's out there, she's on holiday, she's partying, she's having a drink, she's with her friends, she's laughing. It goes a lot deeper than what you see on the outside. So yeah, mentally it can be a struggle, but I know it sounds rich because I don't do this some days, but you do have to try and appreciate that you're still here. You have to cling on to positivity from your surgeons or your medical professionals, and trust in them that they're doing what's right for you. And each scan I have every year will be scary. I have scan anxiety since I've even come out from hospital last November, and my first scan will be November this year, where I'm hoping that there is no evidence of disease and I get another 3 years pass of living, I guess. like a rare cancer diagnosis is scary. I think if you set yourself little goals, it can help to mentally, get over what you've been through or you've got pending. I have people reach out to me on socials that are due for surgery actually in the next couple of weeks, a couple of months. And I just say the same thing to them, just build up, be prepared, build up. But in the meantime, try and distract yourself. I have beach days with my partner and the dog. I have a beautiful dog, so he keeps me distracted anyway. He's like my angel with fur. And yeah, just keep the faith. I think that's all I can really say to anyone that's been newly diagnosed, is there's a lot of us out there that have survived the surgery and have survived the cancer. I'm quite relatively new out of this, but I have connected with people that have survived this for 10 years, 8 years, 5 years, 12 years, one lady 21 years. So there is hope out there. You have to hold on to that. You just have to hold on to the now. So yeah, just live your life. If you're newly diagnosed, reach out to ACPMP, pseudomyxoma survivor. I've gone out there and done a hell of a lot of awareness since my diagnosis and my surgery, because I just want to show people that you can survive mother of all surgery, you can survive this type of cancer, and you can get your life back and you can live.